Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, YouTubers. This is Jerry Diamond, How to Get Out of Babylon, Flat Earth Homeland, and my Operation Ephraim's Rescue and Ozark Plateau Relocation Association Headquarters, Oprah, whatever. All right. Hey, listen, this was not what I was looking for. Okay. Quick. Bam. Okay. If you've listened to, or if you're interested in following this, I did videos on, I don't know which ones they would be in, but I ran across this device because I'm going to do a series on how to get here physically. Walking, boots, water filters, shelter, trailers, wagons, trailers, whatever, carts. And I ran across the Polymule. And as I said before, it was on this jag of studying a bunch of different, DIY systems, and I showed a bunch of those. I think I've got I'm sorry, I'm fuzzy, and I've had so many videos go bad, I don't really remember. But I know I've done videos on, the brains over brawn, and that's where all this started. So not only do you need a good multi-purpose cart, which the Aero cart is like, I don't even want to, don't get me started, okay. Get one. But get the whole thing. I've said that before. $179, you can get all of the attachments, okay. But you need something for when you're on site, a campsite, a homestead, whatever you want to call it, farm, hobby farm. But for those of you out there who are going to be driving, some of you may end up walking eventually, or fairly quick, depending on the situation. You can go overland and get through and sneak through and whatever, and evade and whatever, checkpoint, who knows. And I'm looking on down the road. I had realized that. I have realized that for a long time, since 1980, when I had a picture in my head of a still picture, tents, teepees. I think there was a teepee, most of them white. But anyway, I knew there were refugees, and I knew that those people would die if I didn't help them. So that's when it started, 1980. Goes back a ways. Had this burden for a long time. Okay. So I was doing that thing, and I came across this Polymule, but I was going through all these cars, and and I got done with them, and I was like, I knew what the reason was, because in my heart, I'm thinking walking, carrying a lot of gear, and not just walking with a backpack on, a heavy 60-pound backpack. Wear you out. Well, now there's multiple carts. You can buy them if you got them. Got the moolah. Facebook, I just saw a picture of my son-in-law, showed me a picture of his possible prospective son-in-law and my oldest granddaughter. And he had her shooting, Sarah, and AK-47. And I said, kudos on your choice of weapons, sir. This guy's a military vet. Most military vets will have, and a lot of people have, AR-15s or, something bigger, M14, something heavy duty. So I said, I always figured with my family, I can buy one AR-15 back when and have one person armed, or I can buy an SKS or an AK-47 for everybody in my family. I said, that's the route I went. Congratulations on your choice of weapons. And everybody being the same caliber still. So anyway, Bunny Trail. But you can buy money. How far are you going to spend your money, spread your money? You can buy a fat wheel, that monocycle, that Nate from Canadian Prepper is the official spokesperson for, okay? And $1,000. Everybody will want one. I'm sure everybody wants one, but nobody's going to be able to afford it. Not very many. So some people can, obviously. But if you got a family, And let's say, in my case, 2 adults, 5 children. Let's say you're going to hike. You're going to have to walk. Do you spend $1,000 on one of them? Or do you build your own and have one for everybody and plus a few to sell? Or do you buy a $200 one and buy 5 of them? Switch off. 2 people on patrol, 1 running point, 1 running drag, 5 people carrying 200 pounds, 1,000 pounds. So instead of 1 person carrying 200 pounds, 5 people carrying 1,000 pounds. So big difference. Okay, so that's my point. So anyway, I came to that, and I knew that the reason it was in my heart to look at those was because of the Mormon Handcart Company. It's in my book. Read my book. It's free download on lulu.com under the pen name Jeremiah, Jeremiyah, Elliott. And Mormon Handcart Company, I believe, was prophetic, absolutely and utterly prophetic of this point in time coming up here. And it has to do with the Ozark Plateau. Okay, so there's your deal. Walking. And so I had done screenshots on all these, and I'm going to get to this, honest. I'm feeling a little bit better now. I'm feeling a little bit recuperated. I'm going to start, the weather's broke a little bit. I'm going to start walking, doing exercise. I haven't exercised for like 3 weeks, and I know I'm pushing the ragged edge of, well, lack of sleep, not drinking enough water, not eating right, and not exercising. 4 things I got to do, and I'm not doing any of them. So, not good. Okay, anyway, be praying for me. So the just pain and exhaustion from this move, just a 2-day jag of getting here in cold weather and everything, and on the heels of not a hard winter, but a lot of work, a lot of physical labor, cutting, splitting wood and stuff, hauling wood and whatnot. So anyway, so then I did screenshots of a whole bunch of scenarios, scenes from movies and depictions and whatnot of the Mormon Handcart Company. And then I came to the end of that, and I was like, gee, space age materials, modern, blah, 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 lightweight, and da-da-da-da-da. It would be really cool if someone redesigned that handcart for today for this massive exodus coming up. Click. Oh, wow. The Polymule. It's a redesigned Mormon handcart with space age. I mean, this is like synchronicities, Gee, what an amazing coincidence. GWAAC, capital letters. GWACs. That's what I call them. What are the chances of that happening? With men? 0. With Yahweh? 100%. Or synchronicity in the universe, whatever. The internet's just sometimes connected, and I have done that many, many, many times. Thought something, and the next thing I see, boom, yeah. Wonder if the leaves on plants are antennas for, a particular, like cayenne. Is it different from does the antenna, is it designed to receive certain wavelengths and then da-da-da-da? Sort of fernly, but I said, this leaf is an antenna for energy. And I'm like, wow, I'll give you a really weird one. This is a freebie. The weekend that I had the vision, and my son and I went to a craft show, and I am taking notes. It was 2 days, Saturday, Sunday thing, always shows, and my brain was on fire. I was a little pad of paper. Maybe someday I'll find it. Jotting down notes. Virtually 24 hours a day. Go to sleep writing down notes. Wake up writing notes. I wake up and I'm like, man, someday, we're going to need transportation. Amish buggy. Man, we're going to need a public transportation. Stagecoach. Horse-drawn. And we're going to have to have a way to haul freight. Teamster wagon. In that order. I wrote them down. I go outside. About a minute at the time I was smoking, so I went outside to sneak out. And there's a big, huge barn out there. These people were rich. The guy was a robotics engineer. He had a robotic sander for sanding Jack Daniel's whiskey barrels, and he had a robotic cutoff thing for doing tent poles and carbon graphite tent poles and golf club shafts, arrows and stuff, fiddle with all kinds of things. And I walk out there. It's a big barn, nice barn. I open the door, and in the barn, I see, right by the door, an Amish buggy. I'm like, whoa, cool. A stagecoach. And you know what's coming up next, don't you? You can tell. Amish buggy, stagecoach, I kid you not, beautiful, Teamster wagon, big, heavy Teamster wagon, genuine, real deal. Whether they were restored, I never asked. But anyway, synchronicity. Gee, what an amazing coincidence. What are the chances of that happening? With men, 0. With God, 100%. So, some bizarre things have happened in my life. Signposts, wayseers, signposts, whatever. I don't know. They've kept me going, So I see this Polymule. Boom, click, bam, Why don't they? Oh, they did. Well, it was an Indiegogo, a crowdfunder thing for it. And so today, and I wrote on the video, I said, hey, man, so what if you didn't get it the first time? I said, you've got to build this thing. You've got to build it. And you've got to make it happen, and it has to come out because there's thousands upon thousands of people that need this thing. Your people. I'm figuring they're Mormon probably. Because it was like almost an exact replica, but with a big, heavy poly base that, it was totally waterproof, and this guy had a big load of firewood in it, a 2-wheeler, just like the Mormon things, but all of it disassembled with no tools, fit inside, slide in a truck, pop it out, so the ad for it showed a woman, truck broken down, smoke coming out of the radiator. She has it put together already. Her daughter sitting on the back of the truck, and she puts her daughter in the thing. It's got a cover wagon thing keep her out of the sun and the heat, and screens and everything. And they take off down the road, walking, refugee, or she's going back home for another vehicle or whatever. But I took it as like a refugee situation type thing. But anyway, so today I get a letter from a guy, and he says, hello, I noticed your comment on my YouTube video not long ago. Thank you for the encouragement. The Polymule will be launched on Indiegogo mid-March. I will need all the help I can get to get the word out. I noticed you have thousands of YouTube subscribers. I'm wondering if you could help reach out and spread the word. See attached picture of the updated design. Now, updated design has to be hands-free carry and attached to a hip belt. No question. Hands-free. This thing of dragging it or having your hands occupied when they don't need to be is not cool. So here's a contest to win a free Polymule on Facebook. Well, I'm going to write him, and he's giving me a phone number and everything. I'm going to write him because I'm going to say, look, you get me one, and I'll make videos of it, and I'll push it, and I'll push it, and I'll push it. Now, you need to do this. You need to have it, attached to a hip belt. No question. Just too critically important. And attachment so that it can be attached to a bicycle. Well, it could be attached to a bicycle and or a golf cart, or, just a universal hitch setup for bike, motorbike, whatever. So, yeah, impressive, really cool. So, and then I got also a letter from a doctor, a dentist who's been fabulous to me, just a real blessing all the time. He's in Springfield area, goes between Springfield and St. Louis. Yeah, one of those guys who was harassed by the medical industry and kind of drummed out of the industry, and now he's phenomenal. My ex-wife has taken many, many, many babies to him because he is absolutely phenomenal with sacrocranial, healing. You bring a kid to him, they're screaming and been screaming ever since it's been born. He just kind of sits there and jabbering away, and take him home, and the kid's healed and normal. Pretty awesome. But anyway, I told him, I said, we're at a farm near Fairgrove, come and visit, So, and a dentist would be a very good person to have in your community, especially this guy. He is a phenomenal man. But he's been a blessing, I one time I put out word I was going to do a lecture at the an expo, preparedness expo, and my ex-wife had a laptop, never let me touch it, just, whatever. And my son had one, and he wasn't going to let me use his. And so I put out word. I said, can anybody loan me one? And Dr. Kerwin said, hey, you need it, you got it. Let me know where to bring it to. Well, my son actually ended up having, used his, so that was really cool. And then also for the lecture at where I did the manifesto for the Ozark Plateau, that was his laptop, if I remember right, that we ran the program off of. So David has been a real blessing to me, especially since the beginning of my late in life saga of excitement and survival experiences and homelessness and all that. So, yeah, he's been a real blessing. So, anyway, and his wife Rachel. So, This is Jerry Diamond. If you're listening to this, you are the remnant.